what is this tube?
Well, it's called the church sampler. It's a long aluminum tube with a sharp serrated bit on the end, and it's used to sample snow. And while it's super simple and low tech, I think it's safe to say that this tube is one of the most influential devices ever invented for predicting droughts and managing water. The church sampler was invented by this guy, James Church, known as the father of snow science, also apparently known as Nevada's fantastic snowman. Church was a classics professor in Reno, Nevada in the early 1900s. And when he wasn't teaching Latin or old literature, he loved taking winter hikes in the Sierras. And it was probably on one of these snowy hikes that Church made a realization. You see, Reno, like much of the West, got most of its water from mountain snow, which melted into Lake Tahoe and flowed down the Truckee River. But even back then, water resources were starting to get a little thin. There were all these farms and industries using more and more water, and no one was really managing the water in any serious kind of way. So what Church realized was that you could measure the snow in the winter to get a pretty good picture of how much water you might have in the summer when it melts. And if you knew how much water you'd have in the future, you could manage it responsibly to make sure everyone had enough. Church started tinkering around and eventually invented this, a super simple but super useful tube. He called it the Mount Rose Sampler in honor of the mountain where he first started using it. But today, it's often known as the Church Sampler. Every winter, snow scientists will go out into the mountains and stick this tube into the ground. They pull out this core of snow, and then they use a very high-tech butter knife to scrape out the dirt at the very bottom. Then they weigh the tube full of snow. And regardless of whether the snow is fluffy or dense, the weight of the snow will be the same as the weight of the water when it melts in the summer.
It's such a simple technology. You plop a tube through the snow, pull out a core, you weigh the amount of snow in it, and from that weight, you get inches of water sitting on the ground in your snowpack.
Church's measurements in the mountains above Lake Tahoe were so useful that soon states and eventually the federal government started copying his techniques.
From there, it spread throughout California and then throughout the West, and we do that in every state in the western states. We measure snow all winter because it's vitally important to all of our lives.
Even though there are all sorts of modern, high-tech instruments to measure snow, the humble church sampler continues to be a big part of the snow science toolkit. Today, snow science is more important than ever before. You see, climate change is making snow prediction less predictable. Because of warmer winters, many monitoring sites that scientists have tracked for decades just don't have snow anymore.
Some of the courses that were established 100 plus years ago used to get more consistent snowpack. When we measure it now, we don't know for sure what we're going to find on the ground when we get there.
At the same time, big winter storms that used to dump snow are now dumping rain. That happened right here at this site near Stevens Pass in Washington State. Take a look at this winter's data from this instrument right here. It's called a precipitation can, and it measures both snow and rain. And if you just look at the totals, it looks like a pretty good year. But when you compare it to the snow data from this site, you can see that most of that precipitation fell as rain. Those big winter rainstorms were bad news. One of them caused a massive flood that wiped out the nearby highway for months. And it's concerning for the summer too. It means that there will be less water to go around when it's most needed. This is called a snow drought. And it's not just happening in Washington State. It's happening all across the West. One study found that in the near future, the West could lose about a quarter of its historical mountain snow. If we continue to warm up the climate, that trend will likely get worse. We're in a perilous moment for water, but at the same time, we have all this amazing science and information that can help us make smarter decisions in the face of this crisis. And in many ways, that's thanks to this tube and the field of snow science it helped create.